Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you back to the second session of today's installment of the STARS Soba Lab, where we learn, aspire, and build our business. Again, I'm Arlene Tan, who will be moderating today's second session. During this session, we shall see Mr. Patrick Sim, Secret Recipe Group's Business Development Director, who leads the front end of the business under operation, marketing, franchising, as well as business development with a good understanding of accounting, finance, and supply chain. We also welcome Mr. Martin Ang, the Director of Julie's Manufacturing, one of the Malaysia's leading biscuit manufacturers. Martin started working for Julie's 30 years ago after his career took an unexpected turn. Martin has been taking care of the domestic market and international for more than 15 years. Next but not least, Datuk Dr. Haji Radzali bin Hassan. Dr. Radzali is the founder and managing director of Harta Maintenance Sdn Bhd. He completed his master's in business administration and holds an advanced diploma in international business studies. Harta has seen service reputable private and government sectors where the significant service applications include government office complexes, major shopping malls, hospitals, transportation hubs, and factories. So we will now begin with our questions for the panelists. Mr. Patrick, your company is a chain of franchises like McDonald's. Gaining recognition is not your number one priority, as your brand is readily recognizable. So what has made you or your company decide to participate in Soba Awards?
Hi, morning, Arlene. So that's actually a very interesting question. So traditionally, Secret Recipe has always been supportive of Soba, but we are going into categories that we are more familiar and comfortable with, such as the branding side and the marketing side of things. But as we go along lately, we ask ourselves some deeper questions on who we are as a company, what are we doing in terms of the community, what are we doing in terms of the environment. And you know, the great thing about the Soba Awards is that it has so many different kinds of categories, and we saw categories that we were previously not participating in, such as the Green Initiative, Technology, Innovation, as well as CSR. So this is something we thought, okay lah, let's step out of our comfort zone and let's see how we are doing in terms of these things. Because we as a company, we don't want to be just doing selling cakes, etc., but how can we bring more meaning into what we do besides just the commercial side of things for our customers as well as for the people, because it's very important for us to be part of our community. So we decided to go, okay, let's try this CSR thing. Our team actually has been working hard already in terms of these kind of things, as well as the environment and sustainability. And to our surprise, actually, we didn't expect anything. We did manage to win. We didn't win the first prize, yeah, but it was great to see their efforts being recognized on stage on Soba. And really, I'm glad that we took this step to get out of the comfort zone, to go out things that we are normally good at, to see how we have performed. So that's been great so far for us, and that's one of the reasons we participated again, to try new categories. Yeah.
That is encouraging, Patrick. So from F&B, we now shift focus to manufacturing. What about you, Martin? As a manufacturer, you are top of the supply chain. Awards would not seem to be your priority, as your brand is an international brand by now. So what has made you or your company decide to participate in Soba Awards?
All right, we did this many kind of activities, promotion all over the world. Yeah, so to me it's very important, especially the Soba Award, because when I came to know about Soba Award many years ago, when someone told me about Soba, so I was like telling myself, what is this Soba Award? Okay, so from there on, we know that this is important to us because we want to put ourselves in benchmark into many industry players. Where are we actually compared to many others? Because I believe that, yes, we try many years, participating the Soba. And yes, we didn't get it anyway, but that do not dishearten us. So we try our best to see that where are the areas that we can improve further. Then I think we keep on participating. Yes, we got 1 or 2 awards. So last year, yeah, we got 3 awards. Yeah, we are quite glad. Honestly, thank you very much to Soba. But the most important thing is we keep on improving and telling ourselves that, because there are many blind spots, for us to tell ourselves that how should we put ourselves into comparing to many other industry players. Because to me, it's we keep on learning. Yeah, we keep on looking at things that where we can improve further. So, anyways, I think this Soba have really opened up our eyes to see that there are many beautiful and amazing companies in Malaysia, actually, to be frank with you.
Thank you, Martin. So you have attempted to participate in Soba Business Awards for so many years. Okay. So apart from what you have just shared, what other value or benefits that has actually prompted you to keep trying and never give up and achieve
yes,
the winner awards?
Yes. Sorry about it. Okay. Yes. Of course, there's a lot of value, a lot of benefit that we're getting in on the sense that over the years, we discovered that actually we let people know that Malaysia's brand, when you go into abroad, that we find that actually there are many good products in Malaysia. And when I go in overseas to tell people that, hey, look here, if you want to be, because when we participate a lot of international show, we met many people, right? And some of them, when they tasted the product, they find that your product look good. But that is not all. I just want the people to say that, hey, look here, if you can, please come to Malaysia. Because there are many countries, honestly speaking, that a lot of them still do not know where is Malaysia, many years ago, okay? And of course, there are some, they know about it. But why I want to tell them to come over to Malaysia, because I want to tell them that, please, all right, if you are very keen, likewise, when I know you, I went to your country, please come to my country. Because I want you to tell you that this is a beautiful country, Malaysia. So when you come to Malaysia, at least I want them to know that Malaysia is not just Julie. Malaysia has so many things to offer. All right, so when they came over here, they understand about Malaysia, the cultures, the diversities, and all sorts of things. Then perhaps I find that when they go back, they find that, hey, Martin, this is a very nice place, actually. So, and I want to tell them that, hey, look here, Malaysia, honestly speaking, being a very small country in many parts of the world, but we can produce a world-class kind of product. And we have many world-class kind of brand here.
Thank you, Martin, for being inspiring and being the ambassador for Malaysia as well. Datuk Radzali, you have been quiet all as well. Can we have your insights on this, please?
Thank you, Arlene. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak now. Well, I share the same aspiration of our colleagues here, Martin and Patrick. Now, talking about Soba, the Star Outstanding Business Award, basically when we were participating into this award, well, the goal was not actually the winning, but the goal is to participate and be part of Soba. Now, for me, we have, prior to this, won a couple of other awards like Enterprise 50, Solvent Awards, And one of the key Soba Award is to make sure that the participant, because it all has to come from inside, where I had my team who were working on this Soba Award, they were so excited that for me it is a good start to make them look at how we could change our perspective and move on to the value chain. Now, number one, when I look at the whole situation, I felt that, well, this is a good time for a health check in an organization. So when you have this Soba, the questionnaires, the participating people who come to invite us to look at our documentation, the processes, the detailed outright things that we do. So it was just like an audit and a health check. Then we could recognize the weakness in each of our departments that we were looking at. Now with that, it doesn't stop there. Now having the award, it gives you a good feel. The staff's, the moral lift, and that also gives you the confidence among the staff, among the people. And when the customers look at you, having a Soba award, that gives you the value add, which makes us be more relevant. And that keeps us moving into the competition. But again, I had to tell my team that, look here, winning is one thing, but staying relevant is very important. So as that, being a winning and having that edge that we had, and we participated the first time and we won for the sustainable green energy and initiative. Definitely, it was an outstanding feeling, and at that point of time, we felt that, wow, if this we could do, we could reach more heights, and probably, like what Martin said, we wish we can be the number one. But staying number one alone is not good enough. You got to be really outstanding.
That is inspiring indeed. So the next question is a continuation of the earlier one. We now know that being a Soba winner gives you an edge over competition, as Datuk Radzali said. Now we would like to know how Soba helped your business growth. Patrick.
All right, thank you, Arlene. In terms of that, I think first and foremost, what we can say about the Soba Awards is it's a very trusted award. It's very well recognized, and in terms of the publicity that we get from this is really good to be able to show that we are still relevant in the market. Sometimes when we have a business that's been over 20 years, sometimes we ourselves we get a bit insecure. We start to question ourselves: are we still relevant to the next generation? Are we still able to reach out and engage them in a way we have done in the past? And so when we go through for the Soba Awards, we test ourselves again against the competition, against the industry. And it's good to know that, yes, we are still relevant. We're still engaging our customers. And this helps inspire our people to help grow the business. But I think the more important part of this is actually not winning. It's actually the journey itself. So when we, as Datuk Radzali was mentioning earlier, when we go for this Soba Award submission, actually there are a lot of important questions and guidelines that we have to follow as we submit these different categories. So we ask ourselves the tough questions, and sometimes this guidelines actually pinpoint areas that we question ourselves: are we really doing as much as you can in this place? Can we actually do better? And in the team we discuss this and we look in detail. It's not just about just throwing in your submissions, but to really see how you can improve and develop from there, and actually put these things that we have learned into what we are doing in the future. So that's very important, the journey itself. And of course, at the end of the day, your team is a lot more united. They're a lot happier when you get recognized. But the experience and the journey itself, that's the most important thing I feel that we have gained.
Thank you, Martin. How about you? Thank you, Patrick. How about you, Martin?
All right. We feel very glad that actually we have the kind of value added, especially when we managed to get this award. Especially last year's, it's very surprising that we get the Global Award for the Platinum. And this is very inspiring in a sense that at least this is to tell our people that for all the hard work they've been putting in, especially going to the global market, because we know it's very big challenging, because how you want to stand up, being a small country like Malaysia, to stand up in front of many big players in all over the world. So anyways, this is something that where my so-called team have been putting all this effort, and we go around to many countries everywhere to participate many kind of a show. And of course, it's very important that this has had a lot of value added to our this so-called brand, in the sense that at least a lot of country, or even back home in Malaysia, especially our consumers, they totally recognize, at least give us one leap up in a way that they say that, hey, look here, Julie now is a bit different compared to before. So, but anyway, there's still a lot of hard work to do, because there's still a lot of things to carry out. And we find that, yes, the market is very challenging, especially if you look at what happened now during this MCO. So this is something that we discovered. This it's very different from the others. It's different from the different time where you look at it. Is something we really see that something needs to be carried out differently now, because I think not only just in Malaysia, but most of the other countries affected. especially during this time. But anyways, like what just now Datuk said, how we should still stay relevant, it's very important. So this is something that we are anyway looking into how we can compete, in a way that not just domestic but internationally, how you can be different from others, and what are the way that you can do in order to stand out among all the players.
Thank you, Martin. To all the audience outside, if you have any questions that you would like to address to our Soba's winner, please feel free to drop at the comment box below. By the way, this second session will deep dive into the Soba success stories. Our panelists are past winners of Soba, and I was made to understand that the panelists has won awards as recent as 2019's. Insights to those who wishes to obtain awards yet are afraid to do so. Post your questions in the comment box. Coming back to the questions just now, okay? Would Datuk Radzali like to share with us how Soba has helped your business growth?
Basically, the Soba Award has definitely there's an impact in terms of recognition. So which also helped us in looking at how we should improve further and how we could have changed, because the mindset has to be changed. So with the opportunity now, the business that I'm in is basically human related. My people, my staffs, my key customers. So it's more of a human interaction, which means that the inner mindset gave a lot of boost, change. So Soba was just like a vitamin boost that came into the whole entire team, because it is a team that brought in to the next level of what we are doing. And that really created opportunities. That it gives you a kind of an image that, well, if the Star Outstanding Business Award being given to this company, there must be some essential or validity in that company to have this award given to them. So that also gave a good image, and that goes on, I think, without saying, right?
Thank you, Datuk. So looking at how business awards recognition have benefited businesses like theirs, would you encourage participation of SME in business award this year, particularly when everyone is in the midst of firefighting and has switched in survival mode, Datuk?
Definitely, Arlene. Definitely, I would encourage each and everyone from the SMEs there to look into the Soba Award. That they need to stay relevant, as I said earlier. Whether you have been a past winner or not, you need the continuity. Now, the most important, see, for example, life is not a guarantee. Human being, but then we depend on insurances that make you to be confidently move, saying that, oh, I have an insurance, I want to live long. But the same thing into businesses, the survival, this is temporary, I believe. And I think this is not just Malaysia, it's a global situation. But for you to move on, you need to be in engagement. So the engagement mood that gives, because once you are, because I still remember when, during the days when we first started business in 1980, and I always tell these young aspiring entrepreneurs, I feel very jealous of them. The jealous is not because I don't like it, but I tell them there's so much of facilities today, government initiative, like all this recognition. During our time, there wasn't. So with those awards and recognition that can be given, you should be in participation, in engagement mode, so that there's always future growth. And likewise, we used to say about bankers, there's a joke about bankers. They say, oh, rainy days, they pull your umbrella. Sunny days, they come and give you the umbrella. But with the Soba, I was surprised. I had few bankers who would write to us, look at us, because they know that with this award, this company has been checked. Medically, they've been checked, and I think all been diagnosed, though they could be a good potential customer to them. Nothing wrong with them analyzing it, because they are taking all the risk aspect of management. So in terms of going forward, risk is something that's always be there. So you have to look at risk, So risk is something that will be a continuity kind of thing. So survival is for everybody. So there's a proverb in Malay. They say that ulat di batu boleh hidup, takkan kita manusia tak boleh hidup. So if we should be encouraged. And I think Soba is doing a good job. To me, it should be there, and it should have the continuity.
Thank you, Datuk. What is your take on this, Patrick?
Thank you, Arlene. Definitely a strong yes for me on this one. And actually, this year will be a really interesting year by itself for these awards. It's not just any normal day-to-day business year, but actually, we're going through a pandemic locally, internationally. It's a very challenging time for lots of businesses. And if you were to participate in this award for this year, you can really show how you are different from the rest. Yeah, how you have rise up to the challenge, and how you are really an outstanding business. It's a Star Outstanding Business Award. It's not the Mediocre Award. You really show how you have shined through, and I mean, I'll be so interested to see what people are really doing for the year, and how they've been innovative, digitalizing, and doing all these kinds of things. And if you really win, you can really stand tall and stand proud that say, hey, I made it through this year, and I've been outstanding. While people are firefighting and while people are in survival mode, I made it through and I've won this award, and it's something that you can be really, really proud of, definitely. So yeah, please, everyone, go and try. There's no harm trying. Soba Awards. It will make a difference for your business.
Thank you, Patrick. How about you, Martin? Your company has never give up over the years. Keep attempting. And finally, you are one of the winners. So what is your take on this? Would you encourage participation of SME in business awards this year, despite the pandemic?
Oh, yes, absolutely, because it is a very important award for, I think, Malaysia's players. I strongly encourage, because I know that, I think we know that SME in Malaysia, I think there are a lot of so-called a great product, that kind of thing, and great company. So, and I even like telling myself that we are SME before. We are last time small media enterprise, but today's we are considered a mid-tier company. So, and we always remember that where are we before. So we know that how the SME coming out. Of course, like just now Datuk say, maybe of course the certain kind of support from the government or something like that. But very important thing is how we can guide through this SME, especially because we are there before. We know the challenges we went through, and we work together with many associations and including Matrade to come out with a program called Hand-Holding SME. So what do you mean by hand-holding SME? Because we wanted to be one more level up in a way that we came out with a program and work together with Matrade, work together with Halal Development Corporation, a mentoring program. So this is what Julie had been all along, many years. We work together with a lot of industry players, SME who really want to come out and telling themselves, hey, look here, Martin, how can I bring my product to overseas? In what way I can go into overseas, that kind of thing. My product, my packaging, is it suitable, that kind of thing. And what are the challenges that you face? Because all these are very important, because these are something that we have gone through before. So we do not want, or something like, if possible, help the SME. Tell the SME, hey, look here, very important. If you want to go into this country, perhaps you have to really change. Because not one particular textile can suit the whole world. All right, because Malaysia can be, okay, you say this Malaysia can be good for this particular product, this textile. But in other countries, it's totally different. So you cannot do this way. So these are some of the things that we need to keep on talking to this SME company and telling them that they need to get themselves prepared for all these things. And the other thing is a lot of regulation kind of issue that you face, right? Of course, Malaysia being a very liberal country. Of course, there are a lot of things that it's quite easy for us to do business here. But the moment that when we go out to ASEAN countries, particularly Indonesia or even Thailand, there are a lot of challenges. So what the challenges is, doesn't mean that you have a product ready, but when you go through to this country, you may have to go through many regulations. They require you for documentation and all these processes. It may take time, it may take long. And the other thing is, of course, is involve a lot of resources. And you may have to spend a lot of money. So this is why a lot of SME face a lot of challenges in this aspect. So what I'm trying to say is simple thing, For us, we have gone through all these things. We share with them, we talk to them about some of the pitfall. Of course, there are pro and the con, and all these kind of things. So they are get themselves prepared. So these are something that we always share with SME if we can. So I hope that, because we must not forget that we are SME before, if we can, let contribute something to the SME and tell them where are the challenges, if you want to go abroad, and what are the things that you need to do and don't, that kind of thing. So until today, we are still continue working with all these association and SME, and then to guide them through.
Thank you, Martin. So the next questions that I would like to pose to all our panelists present, what are some words of advice that you would like to share with the SME out there who are interested in participating in Soba this year? I understand that some adapting to the new norm and eventually emerging stronger post-COVID-19. How could we inject positivity in the adjustment process? Datuk, would you like to go
Sure.
first?
I think moving forward, I think we have to have a strong mindset in the sense that this is not the end of the world, and there's a lot of opportunities out there. And I strongly believe, normally I would tell myself, opportunities is to be seek, is not to be awaited. So with Soba giving you that opportunity that you could always do a sharing session, looking at opportunities that may come out of nowhere when you keep looking at things that you will be surprised when you enter into the audit process of the Soba application. Then you will find that there are things that I have never thought, but that can be of an opportunity where it could be moving forward. The most important is how we harmonize ourselves in our ecosystem, in the environment. You know that, especially like what my two other colleagues said just now, there's a lot of brighter ways of looking at things. Of course, we can't just stay back, relax, saying that, oh, this is the end. And there are a lot of initiative. Even if you look at what the government has put up in terms of support, there's a lot of opportunities that you can grab at hand. You can look at it. But on the contrary, on the overall situation is, do not wait. Look at it as a positive approach, and this could be the next livelihood sort of a thing for each and individual, because each SMI, they come from different industry, different background, and different challenges. But obviously saying something that I could say of my industry could be easy, but they may have a lot of different challenges in their perspective. But challenges alone is something that you could put into yourself and say that, hey, am I going to be relaxed or am I going to be moving forward? Moving forward is again like people like me, Martin and Patrick. Here we want to show examples that, you know, we are here today. Why? Because we went through all these processes. Many processes that we went through probably during our era, there were not that much opportunities as it is today. Number one, when you look at the digital world, the digital economy, there's a lot of things. And when we look at what COVID has came across during this session, there were a lot of things that I felt that, hey, this is a new world order, the new way of approaches, the new business opportunity that comes in together, and how we would look at being more proactive rather than just looking and saying that, hey, time is not right. So in business, there's no such thing as timing is right or not right. It's how you want to engage yourself and to get out of that comfort zone. So make sure that you take this opportunity, move on, and probably when you have that engagement with the secretariat or the Soba auditors, you will find there is a lot of relevant things that you may not have thought. It can be as simple as ABC, but it could be something mind-opening situation. So I would strongly say that this opportunity should not be let go. Even for the committee that handles the Soba, they could look at new ways, new approaches, because this is a new approach in what's happening into the business. So this can be something, a measuring yard now that could say that the future of any kind of industries that you look at, there can be a modification of situation that may be relevant into that business at that point of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato. How about you, Martin?
Obviously, I would love to see many Malaysian companies to participate Soba. And as I just now mentioned that many years ago when you participate, we don't get it. but that do not dishearten us, but at least telling us that where exactly that we should, area should be improved further. And of course, we did again, but still don't get it, you know. And then we are telling ourselves that there's something that we need to improve some more further, something like that. So we discuss with the team, there's something that we should need to do. Example, like if you talk about branding or marketing or something like CSR, all this kind of thing that perhaps maybe we should benchmark those companies that what are they doing, what area they are doing something this is very different from the rest. So much so that we try our best to do, and we don't give up. Of course, last year is a very amazing year for us. We got 3 awards. Of course, being the best is the global, brand, which we got, platinum. So what I advise to this Malaysian SME, perhaps that it's okay, to try, because there's something that they can lift up their standard in the sense that, they go through the process. At the end of the day, whether they got it, don't got it, it's okay. I mean, this is something that we, in every competition, you always face this kind of a challenge. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win it, but it's okay. But you don't dishearten, don't give up. Because I know a lot of Malaysians out there, they can really produce very good product, and a good company background, that kind of thing, good team, but they must really showcase, right? Because you may be good in Malaysia, but what about when you go to abroad? It can be a totally different ballgame. And I know that a lot of Malaysian companies, they are very good in overseas, right? But they are not really good present in local, right? I think they have their plan and all sort of things. So this is something which I always encourage SME, never give up, and always find that they must be somewhere they can be outstanding in a way that their product present in the domestic market or even go to abroad. So I would strongly encourage that keep on doing it, because I think this year's, if I'm not wrong, Soba is 11 years, because last year was 10 years. So to me, it's considered quite prestigious in a way, because in the business, when I came to know Soba many years ago, I said, what, Malaysian Soba? Is it the Japanese Soba, that kind of a food? So I say, oh no, this is Malaysian, I think, business, all right, in terms of business. So I say, hey, this is interesting. Then I came to know, and then I go in through it. Then I find the journey until today. I would strongly say that this is one of the awards which make us feel that we feel good about it, and there's a lot of things that we can improve from here. And last year, honestly speaking, when we got the award, actually we invited our overseas so-called partners to come over to join the award, to join the we got the award, and the overseas so-called partners was like surprised. So this is something that they can see from Soba. They say, Martin, this is very different, from they have never seen like this, like a Soba award. And when we got an award, that kind of thing, of course, is something that they can go back and talk to their people. Hey, look here, last week I attended the jury's, Soba, and then they got an award. So, and then I think they can talk among their people. And then they say that, hey, look here, Malaysia brand juries is considered one of the outstanding, something like this. So this, of course, make our people feel good about it. The whole entire team, stakeholders, and my team and my workers, the employees, everyone is feel good about it. So I think this is the beginning. We have a lot more to go. So this is what I want to share.
Thank you, Martin. And before Patrick eagerly take over your sharing session, okay, I would like to invite our audience to keep putting in your questions. All right? So, to you, Martin, how would you inject positivity in the adjustment process while our SME are interested in taking up the Soba Award this year? Patrick?
In terms of injecting positivity
in the adjustment process, yeah.
Okay, so I'll answer the first part of the question first, where SMEs are interested in Soba this year despite the challenging situation in the market. it's really interesting as we survey what's happening in Malaysia already. In fact, a lot of these SMEs are already so innovative. They are doing so many different kinds of things and taking the opportunity itself, despite the virus situation. You can see people that weren't famous before, and suddenly, they utilize the digital space, and everybody sitting at home watching videos. Like for example, remember this lady who was cooking sugu, I think was her name. Yeah, then overnight she became a sensation. So these are opportunities that a lot of people have been taking. SMEs, they're going on different platforms, they're going online, businesses, they're looking into different areas, doing things differently. Even in F&B, although we cannot have people sitting down so much, we go into delivery, we go into online business, we're selling our vouchers online. So these are areas that definitely that they have already been doing. So since you're already doing it, why not you just come and participate in the Soba Awards? You already have your content there and you have really made yourself a difference online. So definitely, yeah, this is some of the things you can think about when participating. And in terms of encouragement for the other SMEs during this kind of time, definitely, again, always be agile, be adaptive to the market and the changes that are coming in. Then you will see yourselves being able to make necessary business adjustments whenever crises arise. And to see a brand that is strong, we can tell when crisis comes, are you able to withstand yourself? So do make sure that the core of what you do in terms of whether it's your product or your service is really strong, and it's a really settled on a very structured ground. That you won't be able to be moving around, when the wind comes and all that. Then after that, in terms of how you market yourself and how you approach your customers, you can always be very innovative and do things differently, despite of the situation. So, just for example, just explaining on how Secret Recipe is. Yeah, our core product is our cakes, as we know, and our food. Although we cannot have dine-in anymore, we try to be more innovative about it. We go to things like B2B, where you can see Secret Recipe in our McDonald's. Nowadays, we are selling in IKEA. Else, we are on online platforms such as Lazada and all that, where you can actually buy Secret Recipe vouchers. Or else, we are on delivery. We are working on a lot of partnerships with GrabFood, as well as our own internal delivery system. So these are ways where we try to be more innovative about things and make sure that still our core is strong in that sense. So that is where I will encourage our SMEs out there to always be adaptive, always stay strong to your core as well. Yep.
Thank you. Agilent, wise move. So we have some questions from the audience. This is anonymous. This questions, I think, is directed to Martin. What is Julie's strategy if there is a second lockdown? And also, will Julie's be more involved in more CSR activities?
Yes. You can see currently there's many countries having second lockdown or even third lockdown. No? So I think the first lockdown in Malaysia, we are caught in a situation that not many people are aware about all these things. And that is something that we face a lot of challenges during this MCO, the first MCO. The reason because there's a lot of SOP that needed to carry out, the government telling us what to do and all this kind of thing. So in a way that we are, certain things that we are not prepared. So anyway, this is something that we overcome, but of course we face the challenges in the sense that we are not able to produce full force and all that kind of thing. So we are not able to meet even the domestic demand and even export in a way, because there's something that we are not able to fulfill, especially during the month of March, April. But of course today, I would say that we are well prepared in a way, because it's like a once bitten, twice shy. You can't tell yourself that you are not prepared for second lockdown, because a lot of countries having second lockdown, that kind of thing. But I'd like to share with you that during the outbreak, especially in China, Wuhan, we can feel how the people suffer, that kind of thing. And we we did some CSR program actually, and I tell you what, because during the Wuhan outbreak, we discovered that actually a lot of the frontliners, especially doctors and nurses and hospital workers, they've been provided kind of food which is mainly, for example, noodles and all this kind of thing. And then we came across someone told us that, hey, they want biscuit. You know, whether can you send the biscuit over there? And then we have our partners in China, especially in Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing. So that was exactly after right after the Chinese New Year, you know. And then we talked to them and said, maybe perhaps you can give some biscuit and all these things. So we did, all right, and sent over there because I tell you what, because all these nurse doctors have been eating a lot of noodles almost every day. And you know, nurses, doctors had to wear all these PPE, all these, they had to wear, they dress up, it's very thick, you know. So for them to be like going to the washroom is very difficult. I came across that, in actual fact, they wore diapers, you know, adult diaper, because they don't want them to go to the washroom many times. So we get some biscuit, and thereafter, of course, Malaysia lockdown, then the rest of the country as well. And then we have we talk to all our partners all over the world, especially like Thailand, Philippines, whether neighboring country like Indonesia, as far as Mauritius, or even Middle East, you know. And we carry out our CSR program. In other words, because we know during that time, I think they really need something. So, and we contacted all the partners, please, you know, anybody who wanted frontliners, homeless people, that kind of thing. Back in Malaysia, same thing also. So I spoke to all our salespeople. When they go to the market, we know that they really need some so-called, when we went to the market, especially we see that many homeless, you know, people coming out, they got no food to eat. So what we did is, we get people to, when you saw all this kind of thing, please go down, give them some biscuit, that kind of thing. So we will continue to do that. If at anything, second lockdown, we will still continue doing our program, honestly. Yeah.
Very encouraging indeed. And the next questions would be for Patrick. Will Secret Recipe come out with a cake less than 10 ringgit and available in all supermarkets like 99 Speed Mart especially?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Definitely, we have always considered retail as one of the markets that possibly we can expand to, and also being able to reach out to the general mass market that we have. 10 ringgit, yeah, I mean, it's always possible to have that kind of volume and to be in all the 99 Speed Marts, or whether it's 7-Elevens, or etc., or Family Marts. Definitely, it's such a large opportunity, and we have been thinking and trying to do a bit of R&D on this as well. When will we come out? I'm not too sure. I can't guarantee anything, but definitely a very good idea coming from our audience as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. There is no questions from the audience, but I would like to add on to just now the CSR questions, because our Soba winners are all very much involved in CSR. So I would like to start with Patrick. Yeah, can you let us know about the CSR projects that Secret Recipe has been doing?
Sure. We have various CSR projects that we're doing. We segregate it by environment as well as people. So in terms of people, we have worked with various organizations such as those anak-anak yatim, where we work with our ambassador Awal Ashari, where we go to their places and we spend time with them. We get them a bit of monetary help as well. As well as we have a lot of in terms of the less disabled people working in the company, where we help support. As well as nearby our factory, we have this less disabled children, where we actually pay them to help make our boxes for us. And in terms of the environment, we work with Zoo Negara recently. We have a partnership with Department of Environment, where we're one of their sponsors as well. And these are things that it comes from the heart from what we are doing. We really love to be able to help our community and be able to make a difference in their lives. Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick. That is really encouraging, and I feel so warm. So how about you, Datuk? About the CSR projects by your company?
Yes, we did quite a bit of CSR program, especially, our business is cleaning, hygiene, environmental service, IFM business and related business. So we did quite a bit of services for like schools, sanitation, sanitizing, do decontamination. So we did for whole folks home, for anak yatim, the orphanage, and also public hubs. In fact, even to like some of the ambulance, because they have to carry people, so we need to do sanitation for that. So there were quite a bit of we did quite a bit public areas. So that will continue. We will still do the CSR. That's always been part of my passion, especially. And through our Yayasan Harta, we have a Yayasan Modal Insan Harta, where we always look at human capital development as well as how we could be engaged, because environmental business is something that you have to be in engagement. So definitely that will be always a continuity there.
That really enlightened me. We have questions from the audience. Describe a time where you had to create change in a company. What steps did you take? How did you create alignment? And what was the outcome? Would Datuk like to take this question first?
Sure, I can do that, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, a time, when I first started my business way back in 1980, definitely facilities were not that much. Timeline, in terms of development, because ours were more engaged into businesses involved in buildings, hospitals, environmental factors. So the facilities in terms of like equipments, machine or modern equipments were not available then. But as we move, we evolve. When we call it ourselves as the first block. First block is like 10 years. So between 1980 to 1990, then you need to make a bit of a challenge in terms of internal staff mindset. So that alignment or change is not easy. People will not accept changes easily. So how do we get into engagement? We have to motivate them. We have to do the necessary steps in guiding, coaching. If you have to hold their hands to work towards what you need to do. Now, basically, this happened between 1980 to 1990. We could see the result. The outcome was, of course, you have to be stern in certain aspect, but you must always be in engagement, because we are like as mentioned, our business evolve with people. So we have to have an engagement, and with that engagement, and people they always like people need recognition. They always like to be participant. So how we pull them towards you is how you encourage them. So I always use this favorite quotes. I always tell people, hey, don't use the word hope. Hope is just not hope to say that, oh, I hope this, I hope that. And also there's no such thing as if, should, would, could. Example, or should I go for Soba? No, there's always must. Yes, I would want to do it. And hope is always, to me, hope is love, life and happiness. You have hope. So the word hope is a big word, I always tell them. So don't say, oh, I hope to do this. No, never. Say that you love to do it, you like to do it, that is your life, that is your happiness. So with that, normally, you won't go wrong. Of course, the periods, the time scale will be, it's a measurable, but it's always there to achieve. Would that be okay, Arlene?
Yes, that is really good sharing, Dato'. So I'll go back to the just now that questions. Julie's Martin, okay? Martin has been with Julie's for the past 30 years. So you would have a lot of ups and downs in the company. So would you be able to share with us a time where you had to create a change in the company? And what steps were taken?
There's something I learned from Dato', because just now he said hope. There's no such thing of hope. This is very interesting. At least I pick up something, one good thing, because don't hope for the best, be the best. All right? And I strongly concur what Dato' say. And of course, you see today, a lot of things change. I can't go back to 30 years ago or 20 or 10 years. Let's talk about today. And during this lockdown, no one know that, because I used to travel abroad, because my job is traveling abroad, go and service my overseas customers and all these things. So from this year, actually, my last travel is January month. So what I did is now, I mean, in the last 7 years, by now I should be traveling to many countries already. But because of lockdown, there's a lot of things need to change, right? Of course, it's to start work from home, and then how am I going to stay connected with my partners, agent all over the world, because we are exporting to more than 80 countries. That's quite a lot of job to be done. Then I talked to my team. We had to do something. And we are not used to do that kind of a virtual meeting, like example, like Microsoft Teams and Zoom, all these things. I mean, we hardly use all these things. So, but during this lockdown, we find that this is very useful tool for us to stay connected, not just locally, but to the world. So much so that we realize that actually there's still a lot of things can be done, not just through this kind of way, but at least you stay connected with what is going on in the country. And they also facing the lockdown. Everyone is facing the lockdown. In what way that we can assist them? Something like this. So these are the kind of things that actual fact, a lot of changes in the sense that what we observe now during this RMCO, this lockdown, I think we stay connected very often because we can do it very often now compared to maybe those days, right? And can say weekly or even monthly, and then keep ourselves up to date. Because there are a lot of things that we cannot touch and feel now because we are not in overseas. So we are very much depending on the feedback. So anyways, these are something that is one of the few things that we learned that during this so-called MCO, this lockdown, there are a lot of things that we learn from each other through our own network and through our feedback from both sides, even from our locals, our members, and from many business associations and all these kind of things. So I see there's a lot of interesting for us to move forward now.
Thank you for sharing, Martin. We have one last questions from the audience, and that is directed to Secret Recipe. What are the future for Secret Recipes to sustain? Any new initiative that Patrick can share?
Sure, that's a very good question. In fact, it actually relates to the previous question talking about change. So at Secret Recipe, I can say change is constantly happening. We're trying to adapt as much as we can to the needs of the market as well as the needs of the organization. I would say very much the future of Secret Recipe is working on digitalization and technology as of this moment. In terms of how we do things in our manufacturing, in terms of how we do things with our customer, we are looking investing a lot more in technology, and it's already in the process. And there are already some things that we have done. For example, in terms of reaching out to customers, we are working on a CRM program, a customer relationship management system where we can gain more loyalty. In terms of our operations, we're actually digitalizing a lot of things. We used to have, our training manuals on paperback in our outlets, but right now we actually are using tablets for training. You can update it a lot faster. It's a lot more efficient, and it costs a lot less paper, and it helps the environment. So these are some things, initiatives that we are looking at in terms of technology. We are investing a bit more into our POS systems at the restaurant, and from there we actually can look a lot better at the data that we have. We talk about big data, we talk about analyzing trends and movements, and this will be very helpful in our decision making in the future as well. Besides that, we are constantly still working on developing new products as well that are exciting for the market. And again, it goes back to what we talk about digitalization. How do we actually come up with ideas, and how do we come up with brainstorm sessions on having a new product? We actually use a lot of data that we have in the market. We work very closely with our partners from various industries, and some of these are pretty big and worldwide partners that have supplied us their raw materials. So it's no more just the traditional sense of business where I sell something to you, I buy something for you. Rather, we work together and we leverage on our strengths of what we have. For example, they have worldwide knowledge of what the trends are in F&B. Whereas in terms of our strength is in terms of being able to adapt this kind of trends into what the Malaysian market has, so that we're able to come up with a good product together. They provide this sort of things, and then we can leverage on each other's social media. Just for example, we work well with brands like Unilever, like Anchor, where we kind of leverage their core strength, like say for example quality ingredients, and then we talk about our cakes. And this is where we find synergies by working together to be able to capture both our markets. Then another example would be like McDonald's recently, where to have a Malaysian brand in international McCafe chain, I think it's something we're very proud of. It took a very long time for us to do that, but these are some things that we are looking on into the future, definitely.
Right. Thank you for sharing, Patrick. And I was prompted that there is a last questions from the audience, and indeed, Patrick has actually touched on these questions. The question goes: can Julie's and Secret Recipe share how your overseas business operations have changed since COVID-19? So over to you, Martin.
Yes. Okay, as I mentioned just now, that in order for us to stay connected with all our overseas agent, we did a lot of meeting through virtual meeting, okay? And we discovered something, because most of them say that everybody stay at home, they are locked down. So I heard a lot of things about like they buying things online and all these things. Of course, as you know, that everyone know that what it is online kind of business. So, and we like to share with some of the country, because some country they have started to move into online, but not all of them. And we have so many countries. So anyways, what we did is we get our expert in doing e-commerce, particularly in China, right, to conduct this webinar, right? So in the last month, we carried out this webinar. A few hundred people attended all these things, mostly from our agent all over the world, to understand about at least how this e-commerce is doing in China, how the way they carry out, how the way they do. So all these kind of things is very important, because I would like to share with them. So much so that to get themselves prepared for in the event they really want to embark into this direction for this kind of thing. So anyway, we will continue. Other than China, we will try to see whether maybe perhaps we can get Thailand or other country or even Malaysia to share to all the overseas customers how e-commerce being carried out in our own respective country or their country, and how Julie promote the product to the world, and to all these kind of channels that each and every one of them wish to learn. So much so that because a lot of younger generation are now very expert and tech savvy, so these are the direction we will be continue doing it. I mean, especially this kind of time.
Thank you, Martin. So our event has come to an end. And before I proceed, I would like to record our gratitude to our panelists today on behalf of Star Media Group. We would like to thank Datuk Radzali of Harta Maintenance, Martin from Julie's Manufacturing, and Mr. Patrick from Secret Recipe. Now that we have dismissed Soba Awards, and I'm sure you have benefited and learned as much as I do from the Soba Awards winner. Now that you know that by being a Soba Awards winner, you would have an edge over your competitors, I would urge all the audience out there who are interested and eager to be the next winner to contact our Star Media Group. Thank you.